Howdy, everybody. Sunday night, 10 o'clock. We do it every week. It's the APAT show. Leigh, I know you want to rush through this next bit. Let's get our special guest on quickly. Who do we have?
Well, obviously, it's been a great football weekend, so why don't we get Natalie Bromley on to chat all things football, yeah?
Hello.
Howdy, Natalie. Good to have you on. Now we're going to talk about football. We are going to talk about football, but before we do, Leigh, I know you want to tell everybody about the special turbo, right? The show turbo.
Yeah, the APAT show turbo. So started at 9 o'clock. And as I say, as we've now done for, however many weeks now, we've slightly tweaked it so we can basically, you can get in and register for it if you want to get in. It's just going into level 10. That is late registration zone we're in now. So you're going to get 6 minutes if you want to get into that. It's $11 to register. Currently 47 players have done that. We're down to 33 at the moment. So if you want to get involved in that, you have got one level left to give that a go. I can see plenty of regular players in that tonight. There's Andrew Drago's there quite high up in. Mark Winsell's got a lot of chips. Shug's up there with a lot of chips as well at the moment. One Stephen Forty's got chips and taken a bounty already.
Nice.
First hour, so nice to him. But yeah, loads gone. But it's an absolutely rammed poker night as well, Des, obviously, because we have Manchester Day 1A is happening tonight as well, which we will focus in on tonight to see who's going to take a stack through. It's going to be 17 runners, so top three remaining players at the once we get down to it, are the ones that are going to take their stacks through to day 2 and will already be in the money for next weekend. So exciting.
Fantastic. Always love it the week before a live event. There's a bit of excitement in the air. We certainly have that tonight. Can't believe, Leigh, there's 5 or 6 minutes to turbo show special entry deadline. Normally there's about 30 seconds and you say, Des, just hurry up and shut up so we can get the people into the tournament. I like to think that's a development that I've listened to, learned from.
Well, we got live a couple of minutes earlier than we normally would, and you've just literally blitzed straight into it, which is great. That's where we were. Hey, do you know what? I said 47. Well, it's now at 50. Yeah, this is what this is sales marketing going on.
It's the magic. Sales marketing. That's what we call it. Sales marketing. Well, listen, there's a bunch of you. Naturally, we say that every week, right? There's a bunch of you out there. We have Tony Ross, of course. He still falling down the leaderboard like a stone, Leigh?
I've got a whole update involving Tony coming up in a second. So, it's interesting times this week.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we will say good evening to Mr. R. One Mr. Nosy P is out there. Evening all. Holland who indeed. More about that to follow. We've a special gentleman from YouTube, Yo-Yo Broker, says, hello, loving the glasses, sir. And one Mr. Simon Lawler, Nottingham Forest fan extraordinaire, is out there with an evening. So good evening to you as well. Good evening, everybody. So play along or ask a question in the chat box, right? Get involved. Get involved, Leigh. That's what you used to say. Get involved.
That's my hashtag. Get involved. If you
get involved.
So let's talk about Leaderboard Ladders week 77, Mr. Duffy. How we've got to that. 77. So last week, Dylan Herbert absolutely smashed it. Picked up the triple point. He's a step fiver. So yeah, we don't begrudge him a decent number of tickets from last week. Well, he was top of the leaderboard again this week, going into this Sunday session where we've got 4 tournaments for the end of the week. But he's only about 20 points ahead of Tony Ross, who's in second place, and Patrick Kuchera from the Czech Republic, who plays regularly with us here at APAT. Well, Patrick has played everything tonight, but has not had any cashes whatsoever. He's still in the turbo. He's 11th of the remaining players in the turbo, so he's still trying to add to his points. No sign of Dylan Herbert tonight. No sign of him in the lobby at all. Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say the Ilfracombe Massive have sailed across the River Severn and nobbled Dylan somehow. I don't know, done his broadband or whatever they've done.
They've gone across on dragons and basically nobbled his broadband from above. I see it.
Yeah, it sounds to me what's happened. So it's left the door open for Tony Ross. He is currently second of the 3 remaining players in the deep stack. So Tony is going to score some points, which is going to move him ahead of Dylan.
Wow.
So the question is, how many points will he get? And can Patrick do something in the turbo, the final one of the week, to see whether he could actually have an impact on the top of this table? But I think Dylan is going to miss out on top spot.
Well, interesting insight from Mr. Lawler, who, of course, knows shit like this because he is indeed our very own Oracle Snoopy, as I understand it. And he says, Dylan, he doesn't think, plays on Sundays. Who knew? A poker player doesn't play Sundays?
It could be for religious reasons, quite possibly.
Very unlikely.
That is a possibility.
I thought, but possible.
Yeah.
Simon also said, get the name of his football team right there. In fact, Nottingham Forest 0. Fair enough. And,
actually, can I put something on it? I would like to pose a question to Mr. Lawler, please. I want his views at some point about the slightly dark turn of the Twitter spat that went on yesterday between Forest and Wolves admin. So, with him being a Forest fan, I'd like.
I caught the end of some of that, and it looked quite interesting.
It was great, but I'd like Simon's view on it.
I haven't seen that, but in the best possible sort of late night nightclub Saturday night, we've all had a few beers too many type scenario. Rudders has come in from the left corner and said he does. So apparently he does actually play on Sundays. Simon is misinforming us, and the two gents might have to step outside to sort this one. Rudders,
we'll get there.
Unfortunately, says out first hand in the deep stack. Now, I'm not sure whether he's talking about himself or Dylan, presumably himself.
Possibly. Well, let me give you a quick update where we are with those then. So the deep stack I mentioned had 51 runners, so smashed the guarantee tonight. 3 remaining in that. As I mentioned, the main event, that beat the guarantee as well. 54 runners in that. We're currently down to 9, which is the 9 that are going to get paid tonight. Yanni's still in there. Rudders, who's just been in the chat, is in there as well. Yuri Jepsen from Germany is in there as well, who's a regular player with us. The PLO, that was just a couple of players shy of the guarantee on that one tonight, so it's paying top 4. Eddie's still in there though, as is Alessio Conti as well. Darren Naylor's in that one, and as I mentioned, you've just missed out now if you wanted to register for the Turbo Knockout. That ended up with 53 runners in that, so that's going to be paying top 9. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the one which we are focusing in on at the moment is down to 9 players of the 17 that started, and it is the online day 1A, which is for Manchester for next weekend. So how this works is we play down to 15% of the field. In this case, it's going to be 3 players. So whatever stack sizes these guys end up with, the remaining 3 players, they will take that forward to a week today at Manchester 235, and they will already be into the day 2 and already in the money for Manchester. So interesting. So different to previous events where we've normally got 100k starting stack. We've had to do 25k starting stack here due to the venue, but that just means everything gets quartered. So really straightforward. Really, everything plays exactly as it would normally would. It's just you're starting with a shorter stack, and the blind starts smaller as well. So 15% would be 1 in 8, so 25k starting stack. So you'd say an average stack, you'd be ideally looking at somewhere around the 100 and 150k would be a good stack to take through. But obviously, because there's only 3 going through and it had 17 runners, because the online day one tends to have smaller runners. Certainly, we're expecting for the event next weekend live, the 2-day ones will be in the 100 or so mark each day. Probably somewhere anything over 100k is probably going to be a pretty decent stack, I would suggest. So they've just hit their final table on that, so we'll get that up. There we go. And so that's what I would guess. I would be seeing if you can do 100k, that would be good. Part of the show team is Tom Bacon. So he's already got he's on 109,000 at the moment.
Fish.
So he's got decision to make here, really. Is he gonna kind of keep his foot to the floor and be looking to try and really build a stacks, try and knock out some of these players here on this final table, or does he kind of sit tight and go, well, is 100k enough for a day 2, and see what happens. We're down to 8 now, so as I say, it'll stop when we're down to 3. So 5 more bust outs. There's a number of players there on the sort of 20,000 between 20 and 30,000 in Jacob and William, Darren, Alan Ellis is there, and Richard King as well. I mean, what's your take on it, Natalie? How would you be playing this with Tom's stack?
Hyper aggressively. Well, I guess it depends, doesn't it? It depends on what Tom's attitude is
up now, and we'll be able to go beyond 10 minutes or so.
I'm not being funny. He only has one job. Yeah, one job.
But it's a big one, though, right? Keep the internet up. I mean, Atlas.
That's what he's got to do. Yeah.
Atlas only had an Earth to carry, right? I've got to carry the whole internet. Not easy. Yeah. All right. So welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you will be tuned in. Let's put a table back up. Sorry, Leigh. You were rudely interrupted. You were just talking us through our sort of Manchester final contestants.
Yeah, we've jumped. Well, we've moved on a tiny bit. So I think when we had our other problems, we were down to 8, and we're now down to 5. And the new chip leader is Alan Carmichael, who's got 156,000. So Tom Bacon is now in second with 89,000. Then you've got Thomas, Jacob, and Darren, the remaining players. So I think Natalie and I we were chatting about, well, what do players do with this stack? So I guess now I was saying to you, what would Tom Bacon do? I guess the question now is, what does Alan Carmichael do here with 156,000?
Yeah, I think it's still the same point, isn't it? It will always depend on what the intention is of the player. Are they desperate to make, is the cash important? Are they desperate to come and play the live event? Can they come and play the live event, or does it not really matter either way if they don't? If it all depends. And I think if he has, though, the ability to assess the rest of the table. So if you've got some players who are playing particularly tight, he should be, attacking their stacks and trying to sweep up some chips, as many as he can. If it's playing quite aggressively and there's chips flying all over the place, then he can play a bit tighter. There's quite a lot in a tournament like this for you to think about, and quite a lot of considerations. And it's difficult without the information that you need online. Live, you probably would get this information. You pick up table chat, don't you, about, I'm not coming back with 10 bigs and that kind of chatter, or I haven't got a hotel for the night, so I'm just going to try and spin this up. If you pick up on certain bits, you can't do that live. So if I was Alan now, I would probably just be raising every single hand and just seeing how the table adjusts. If it gets jammed on quite a lot, it can readjust, or I would just try and get that information that way.
Well, 2 of the other stacks have got it in here. Queens for Jacob against Ace Jack for Thomas, and the Queens are going to be good, which is going to leave Thomas now. They're playing blinds of 800 and 1600 at the moment. So, I mean, Thomas has still got sort of about 15 bigs there. So it's not the end for him, but he's now is the short stack at this table. And puts Jacob up over the 100K. That 100K figure, which I said, I think is going to be around a decent amount. And when you look at it, because as I say, it was 17 runners tonight, 15%. So it's worked out at 3 players. And if you look at the stack sizes now, we only need to lose the 2 shorter stacks, Darren and Thomas here. And yeah, you're going to have probably, players up around the 120, 150K. Could be 3 of them could all have a similar stack here. I don't think that's an unreasonable. 150K will be the average when going into the day 2, because that's 15%. So
Leigh, sorry, I'm going to interrupt midstream here. Just from a technical point of view, I don't see us on Facebook, so I can see us on YouTube.
Okay.
And we would be a little behind on Twitch, so I don't know whether we're up there yet. But if I can't see us on Facebook, and perhaps you can have a little look there as well, I assume you get the same result, then that means we do need to restart.